Your Best Manager, Episode 91, How Managers Can Use Positioning to Save Time and Increase Productivity. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Your Best Manager podcast, featuring interviews with senior managers and leadership experts, as well as practical advice for first-time managers. And after today's show, be sure to hop over to yourbestmanager.com and check out the What If Project. Starting June 1st, it's 30 days, 30 leadership tips, 30 baby steps, and 30 opportunities to become a different kind of manager. Have fun. All right, so this is probably the single biggest challenge that holds managers back from reaching their potential. And I have absolutely no idea why it's taken me 90 episodes to talk about it. But here I am today, and I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to solve it right now. I will tell you what the solution is. I just don't have enough time right now to dive into exactly how to solve it because, well, this topic is just way too important to just scratch the surface of. So I'd rather just dedicate some time, another time, to just go deep on this thing. I'm talking about time management and productivity. Go into any office. Go onto any production floor. Hop into any retail establishment, walk onto any construction site, and speak with any manager. It's the same complaint. I could be a better leader. I could get more done. I could have a more significant impact. I could turn things around. I could achieve my goals if only I had more time. And as I said, I do have a solution, but I'm not going to be able to dive too deeply into it right now, but let me tell you, that doesn't make me heartless. I'm not simply saying that, hey, I have the answer, but good luck, I'm not really going to tell you what it is, and then walking away. I'm going to say at the end of today's show that I have the answer, come follow me, and I'll show you. But there are going to be a few places that I need to go before you're going to be convinced to even consider following me. Because first of all, if I were you, I would be skeptical about what I just said. In fact, I'm skeptical of almost every time management recommendation out there right now because most time management strategies require immense dedication and discipline, and I'm just not sure I have it. From inbox zero to complicated to-do lists and prioritization methods to apps and various software solutions to convoluted employee analysis and delegation methods. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of great ideas, and sometimes that information overload is exactly what keeps you from success. I mean, if you're like me, you've probably created to-do lists only to throw them out later on or just ignore them entirely because stuff just gets in the way. And looking at all the things that you missed or all the things that you have left on your plate is just simply overwhelming. And as much as I'd like to tell you it's okay, which it is, just because you've struggled in the past doesn't mean that success in this area is unattainable. I don't want to make it appear easy either. I will tell you how simple it can be for leaders to improve productivity and control their time, but I will not for a second tell you it's easy. Because what I'm going to suggest requires change, and change is difficult. And I also don't want to brush this off like it's unimportant because that's the other danger. These things we're talking about right now, time management and productivity, it's a big deal because when there isn't enough time or you can't get enough done, it's stressful. In fact, let me tell you a couple things about stress, starting with the top two sources of stress, which are, can you guess them? Money and work. But let's talk about what stress actually does to you. So stress affects your musculoskeletal system. And if you have no idea what I just said, don't worry about it. It's biology. And if you know exactly what I just said and you are into biology and science, trust me, you know more than me. So forgive me if I mispronounce anything. But stress affects your musculoskeletal system, your respiratory system, and your cardiovascular system. It increases blood sugar. It leads to overeating. It increases the severity of heartburn. It can cause stomach pain. It affects how your body absorbs nutrients. It causes wear and tear on your body, and it causes fatigue. It increases vulnerability to infection. And it can also do a number to both men and women's reproductive systems. So what did I just say there? We got money and work as the top sources of stress. And of course, money is generated through work. So you could argue that work is the single biggest contributor to stress, which I'm going to boil back down to time management and productivity. Because if we had enough time and got everything we needed to get done, what would we be stressed about, right? But I've also just said that it's pretty clear that stress has a whole gamut of negative impacts to your body, which in turn affects you mentally, affecting your relationships, your energy levels, your ability to focus. And as that snowball grows, it also impacts your performance at work, therefore increasing the likelihood of work-related stress. But if there's just more time, if I could just get more done, if I could get out of the office on time, or if there weren't so many distractions, or if there weren't so many fires to put out, or if my employees could just do their job properly, or if my boss would just understand how much is on my plate right now. Talk to anyone at any level, leader, manager, or not, who is underperforming at work, and they're going to ask you for more time, won't they? And for managers, I actually think this can be worse because management isn't just about the technical execution of tactical responsibilities. It's about things like building vision. It's about goal setting. It's about developing relationships. And those activities cost time, but have very little tangible, measurable return on investment. So those things cost time. And the answer is if I just had more time, then maybe I could work on those more intangible things. But by the time I actually get my tactical work done, by the time our team hits the deliverables, there just isn't enough time left for that development stuff or that leadership stuff. And even if there was time, we're just too exhausted to even think about it. And personal development, self-development, well, why do you think I'm listening to a podcast right now on my drive to work or during my workout or while I'm multitasking on something else? It's because I don't have time to sit down and read the latest book on leadership, and I don't have time to work on the things that I know I need to work on. So at least a podcast gives me something, and that's actually a pretty good decision. But I've got to ask, are you overwhelmed listening to this? Because I'm overwhelmed just talking about it, but it is a reality. And it's not really your fault. Our world is speeding up with technology, and how we get work done is changing as the latest employee engagement initiatives absolutely transform office cultures. On the technology side, think about this for a moment. Go back 20 years and email was new. In fact, in 1997, which is exactly 20 years ago, that's when Steve Jobs rejoined Apple. There was no Wi-Fi. If you were out of the office, you didn't get your messages until you returned. And if you wanted to send something, most people used fax machines. The first BlackBerry wasn't even invented or introduced until 1999. So what I'm saying is that this immediate access to communication we have today, the world of instant messaging and expected instant responses, is new. Beyond this, we're in a world that is so heavily dependent on data that most companies don't even allow you to make a phone call without it being tracked somewhere. Simple activities now require additional work so that our data, depending on how you say it, can be correct. We're moving faster than ever before, but in some cases, we're overcomplicating our work. And even if you remove technology from the equation, you don't have to look very far in terms of how we get work done to understand two things. Work is designed to maximize efficiency, and employee satisfaction is king. Any production environment, from fabrication to assembly to even fast food restaurants, are built from lean manufacturing principles, which is great. And how can people perform their work more efficiently, right? Like, that's a good idea, to find the most efficient way for people to do their job. The only problem is that once something is obtained, that's now the new performance standard. So once you find a way for one person to do the job of two people, you will never have two people do that job ever again. Which means a small mistake, a blip, all of a sudden becomes larger because the expectation was set for absolute efficiency. That makes sense? And then, of course, there's the employee satisfaction piece. It's trendy these days to have completely open concept offices. Personal office spaces that need to actually be signed out, like library books and game rooms, lunchtime activities, flexible hours, telecommuting opportunities, and there's a coffee shop at every corner nowadays. And I don't necessarily, to be honest, I'm saying these things, they come across negative. I don't necessarily think any of this is bad. It's just understandable why time management is such a challenge today. So let me ask you, do you sometimes wish you had more time? Okay, so who wouldn't say yes to that? Let me ask you this instead. What would happen if you found a way to be more productive at work? If you were able to gain control over your time and get more done in less time, how would that impact the way you lead your team today? Would your stress decrease? And even that, if you found a way to decrease stress at work, how would that impact the way you lead your team? Like, what if you removed stress from the equation, physically, mentally, emotionally? Like this is a big deal. This isn't just a good idea. This is a big deal. Again, this is the number one complaint from managers. They wish they had more time because we all know what I'm talking about is true. We're busy. There's a lot on our plates, and we have so many great ideas, so many dreams and aspirations for where we want to take our career, for where we want to take our business, for how we want to lead our people. And we know that our productivity and our ability to actually get things done efficiently and effectively, and our employees' ability to get things done efficiently and effectively, they are the key to accomplishing any important goal we set. The saying goes that a goal is simply a dream with a plan. But here's the thing. If you can't execute on the plan, well, then you don't achieve your goal. So the pointed question that follows all of this that I've been talking about is, okay, we know there's a problem. What are you going to do about it? And I've actually got some good news for you right now. You're doing something about it right now by listening to this podcast. And that actually tells me two things. That first of all, you recognize that there is a problem. If you didn't think this was of concern, you would have tuned me out a while ago. But here's the other thing. You actually care. Like, you care about you, but I think you care about the people you impact through your leadership and through your personal relationships. And so it's important to figure this out because of what's actually at stake here. You are still listening because amidst the common challenges we all face, you understand that there is opportunity to change, and that change could improve the quality of your relationships and the effectiveness of your leadership, and that's important to you. So what I'm going to do in a minute or so is tell you what the solution is. I'm going to just give it away, but I don't have time to explain it all, but I want to make sure that I at least give you the answer. But before I share that, I do have to tell you why I feel so confident in what I'm about to share. And it's because I was a failing manager 6 years ago, and I was not good at time management. I was unproductive. My team was unproductive. I was a terrible leader, and it took an entire shift in perspective to turn things around. But I turned things around, and within 1 year, I went from earning $50,000 to $60,000 a year to earning over $175,000. And it's not about the money. And to be honest, I don't even think that's enough money to warrant a get-rich-quick story. I'm not here telling you that you're going to make millions of dollars. This isn't about money. And success looks different in every business, every job, because your goals are different than mine and your opportunities are different than mine. This is about transformation. This is about going one direction and switching directions in terms of the way you operate and lead. And I made this one simple change to the way that I operated, and my time management capabilities, my productivity, and my team's productivity was transformed. And that change was from traditional management or reactive management, which most managers operate reactively, to something called shoulder-to-shoulder leadership. And you may have heard me talk about shoulder-to-shoulder leadership before, but that's actually not the time management solution. I'm not going to dive into that right now. The solution, the big answer that I've been leading up to this entire episode, it's about positioning. It's about being in the right position to be most effective. And I'm going to tell you the story of my own transformation, and I'm going to share with you 3 secrets of positioning this Thursday, June 22nd, through a live 1-hour training on leadership, effectiveness, time management, and productivity. Again, I'm not saying, hey, I've got the answer, see ya, good luck. I'm saying I have the answer, and whether you believe me or not, I want you to follow me so that I can show it to you. And then you can judge whether or not you think it'll work for you. But I'm going to show it to you through a live free web class this Thursday, and I'd love for you to register for it at yourbestmanager.com/webinar. It's called how managers can use positioning to save time and increase productivity without getting overwhelmed by lengthy to-do lists, confusing time management techniques, and endless interruptions. And I'm going to share 3 secrets during this webinar. Secret number 1, positioning. How to get more done in less time and lead a more productive team by simply being in position. Secret number 2, preparation. How spending just 10 minutes with the right information can position you to most effectively lead your team. And secret number 3, performance. How to stay in position, keep focus, and eliminate distractions while improving employee performance. And again, to register, just go over to yourbestmanager.com/webinar. It's this Thursday at, I believe it's going to be 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can register there for free and come check out this answer that I think could actually transform the way that you lead your team. And I'm really excited about that. So thanks for listening. All right, everyone, that does it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Now hop over to yourbestmanager.com and take advantage of the free tools, resources, and training which I've created exclusively for you, the next generation of leaders. Oh, and have fun.